This is Stormfly's video. I kind of watched a little bit of it already, but yeah, this is what we're gonna do now. Let's watch.
There are many levels to
loud.
play in Geometry Dash, evidenced by modern level IDs reaching the 100 millions now. But
Is the audio
fact of
fine,
the
guys?
matter is that with all the different IDs that have been used up until this point, majority of these IDs will lead you to a deleted level that no longer exists. It can be easily assumed that most of the time, these deleted levels are either random irrelevant levels,
reaction stream
temporary
now.
uploads as part of
Let
a
me
level
do this for you
collaboration
guys.
project, or perhaps even part of a hacker's spam bot. But in some rare cases, these deleted levels were sometimes rated levels that for a variety of reasons were deleted from the game.
So I did
Never
watch a
to
little
be
bit of
seen
this.
again. The
by the
full
way.
list of levels this has happened to is way
So.
too long to actually cover in one video. So for this one, I will be looking into
Did I see
the
element?
kind.
Wait, let's see if we can try to find some. So I found element 111 RG. He probably talks
Should
about
cover
that in this. I didn't get far enough to
in one
know.
video. So for
There it is! There it is! Element 111 RG is the 128th deleted demon in the game. That's cool. I don't know if there's anything else that's significant, but Ice Cream by Cyclic, Invisible Clubstep by Cyclic.
For this one, I will be looking into the hardest kind, the demons. And even then, I will only be looking into specific levels that are interesting to talk about, because if I went and talked individually about every deleted demon, this video would look a lot like this. Verify with secret way. Verify with secret way. Verify with secret way. Verify with secret way. Verify with secret way.
I verified all the demons, guys.
Pretty
I
damn
verified all of
boring
them.
reasons a fair number of times. I will show you a quick overview of all of those levels that I have neglected to talk about, and the reason for their unrate/deletion, followed by their respective name, creator, and level ID it used to have. What I will be going through are specific cases that have a unique story to tell, or happen to personally interest me to some degree. So without further ado, let's kick off this video with the story of every deleted demon. And the very first demon level we start off with is a funny game level, which is rather crazy in hindsight. One fact about the game's older updates that prior to update 1.7, players could not delete their levels that they had published. The feature itself simply didn't exist.
This is something
There
I
was
never
an
knew
upload
about
button, but no
up
delete.
until
So once you
watching
had uploaded
a little bit of
level to
this.
the servers, that level was stuck there forever, unless RobTop decided to purge it himself. But in update 1.7, this changed, and any user could delete any level they desired, including levels that had been rated. And Funny Game immediately went ahead and wanted to get multiple of his levels removed. Xstep version 2R, based off upload ID, is the very first demon level in the game to get removed. The letter R in this case signifies remake, not of RobTop's main level Xstep, but of Funny Games' original Xstep version 2 upload that was made prior. According to Funny Games' own comments on that original Xstep version 2 version, there appeared to be some severe error in the level, insinuated further by other comments saying this.
That guy's name. These guys' names have ID on them.
Level is
I'm
impossible.
assuming it's because their accounts
And they
got
were right.
deleted.
While we don't have footage of this specific level's case, the player would insta-die on every attempt. Nothing could be seen.
I remember
no objects
this.
were being hit, but the player would just non-stop
What's
die.
behind the camera?
I'll
It's
go
my
more
wall.
in depth
That's
about
my
this
wall.
bug for the next level on the list.
Oh,
as it
behind
is
the-
more relevant
okay, it's
to
just
talk
my
about
room.
there. Xstep version 2R was Funny Games' second attempt at uploading the same level. He rebuilt the whole thing from scratch and indicated with the level name that this was the new version. But now, if you tried to play the level, you indeed wouldn't die at the beginning, but a big part of the entire ending was missing and corrupted now. There are old videos of players clearing this demon with this corruption in place. And as
There's a
probably
lot of
evident,
level
it just ends
corruption
abruptly before the song is
in
over.
levels that
There
are
are more popular instances
still
of this
rated
happening
today.
to other levels too, like the map pack level Hextech Flow
Yeah,
by
there's
Darnock,
one.
where the exact same level corruption occurred, evident by the abrupt structure cutoff near the ending. Suffice it to say though, whenever update 1.7 rolled around, Funny Game made immediate work of deleting both of these levels, marking Xstep version 2R as one of the first demons to ever be deleted. This level is uploaded now and rated on Funny Games' account, but it is now called Xstep version 2 Rebirth and has way more decoration compared to the previous two versions. Next up is
I
a
wonder why
demon
he
level that
deleted
sadly became known
some
for
of
the
his
bug
levels.
that Funny Games' level suffered from prior, Confused by Christian. The original level didn't have any problems as such in the beginning, as the level worked just fine and was a decent demon level for the time. Christian, however, decided to update the level's decoration to make it more appealing, which sadly resulted in the game breaking the level entirely. All footage that can be found of this improved version just demonstrates a player dying immediately.
Yeah, Rob Top fumbled so hard.
The actual technical explanation for why this
like
bug
every
happened
update
is
until
none of the
2.1.
creators' fault. To put it in simple terms, before update 1.5 of Geometry Dash had come out, an uploaded level used a specific format to tell the game what the level actually contained. But because RobTop's code only allowed for so much to fit in at once, despite the in-game limits saying you can have more, the game would fail to upload these levels properly that surpassed the file size limit. So in short, the level was too big in file size for the game to read. As a result, what happened here was that the game managed to load in an object for the level, but the information of where the X and Y position was meant to be was lost. Hence, the objects get placed in the default location, 0, 0, where the player starts, making it literally impossible to get past the very beginning. Alas,
Stormfly, a little bit of criticism. Make sure you don't add parts in a video where it flashbangs you. that hurt my eyes.
Eventually deleted entirely, not long after update 1.5 was released, which likely means that RobTop purged it. And unlike Funny Games' level that saw a return, the original creator never uploaded this level again. A pre-upload of it still exists, funnily enough, but the actual rated upload is gone forever. Ice Hell Cave by Small is perhaps unbeknownst to many to be quite a significant level in this game's history. Not because the level itself is particularly special, but because of what it ended up inspiring. The level was originally uploaded on the 8th of December 2013, and developed a bit of a negative reception evidenced by the number of dislikes it garnered, likely as a result of the very beginning, which perhaps might look familiar to people who know about older levels. And yeah, the reason this level is so relevant in history was that it inspired road bows to make Ice Carbon's Dust, pretty similar in name if compared to Ice Hell Cave. This GW post from Roadbows also infers to him being aware of Smolz's level, and the fact that the very first jump in Sust is pretty much a copy of what Cave does. Even the same song was used, Cycles in this case. So how did a level with a
I didn't know that the inspiration for the Ice series dated back to 2013.
Well, the level went through a number of strange updates, where the very first one took place in update 1.7.
This goes to show how old this game is.
The entire level got a brand new overhaul. The intro was mostly kept as is with a decoration update, but everything else became significantly different from the original version. Not only that, but it had also become a mega collab with a couple of significant names involved. Some noteworthy ones to mention being Cody and Mr. Lee.
If you beat Zodiac, will you go for Spectre?
Ultimately increased a bit compared to the original version, so the level's difficulty wasn't compromised, as it stayed demon. But when update 1.9 rolled around, Small all of a sudden decided to update the collab version into an auto level. Inevitably, a demon level made into an auto blew up in the community pretty quickly, as beating demons was a pretty big deal back in the day, and RobTop went ahead and unrated the level the moment he found out. If one was to look at the level's description,
probably took RobTop a week.
It was revealed that Small wanted to delete the level entirely,
Secret Way,
but couldn't due to it being rated. So the auto
Secret Way verifications were so
catching RobTop's attention.
Frequent.
While its legacy
back
impacted
then.
the game rather significantly, with it being the push for the Ice Carbon series, who then in turn inspired future levels to be themed around straight flying, such as Bloodbath, the source that you could say perhaps started it all is gone forever. There are re-uploads of the level at least, so if desired, all different versions can be experienced. Next up here is a level that only quite recently has received probably the ultimate redemption ever since its original deletion. Spike is Black is by a creator named Fraud Player, which up until quite recently, both the level and creator name has remained unknown. Any completion you would find on GW regarding the level would usually show the menu page of the level completed, and with Player labeled as the creator, which was just the default name of any user that played Geometry Dash back in these times.
You glad you face revealed?
Itself was clearly easy enough for players to beat.
I mean, it's
there
nothing
wasn't a
special.
lot of proper coverage
It's just my face.
as a result of the level having a secret way.
Secret way!
Speaking, that does mean that this level falls into the pocket of being uninteresting to me. since it is just a case of a level having a secret way, followed by unrate and deletion. But that was, however, until Restoration Union's save file search landed on something enormous.
Yo, shout out to Restoration Union. They're really cool.
Save files from a wide range of different GD players in order to collect data and levels that are no longer in the game. Spike is Black was one of the levels that survived locally on the save file from DBT KDDN 9402, one of our former top 1 star riders.
Interesting name.
This meant that we went from having only pieces of the level available to suddenly having the entire level restored and recovered, as well as the username Fraud Player. Not only that, but the part that made me put this level on this list to begin with was with how damn original and cool this level was for the time. There's some really unique ideas presented throughout this level, which is always welcome to see in this game. There was also evidence suggesting that there used to be a remade version of Spike is Black by the same creator, appropriately named Spike is Black RM, but that version is sadly lost forever, likely to never see the light of day again. But at least, it is nice to see a genuinely cool level restored and preserved.
I'm gonna play that one day.
Similar to Spike is Black that we just talked about, here is another demon level that used to be lost to time, but have been rediscovered in an old player's save file. Once more from DBT's save file as mentioned previously. Forgot Forest by Supermoon was one of them, which before this point was yet another case of a demon level with a secret way. And whereas Spike is Black was included because it was a genuinely cool level, this one is included because of how dumb it is. The level starts off just fine, nothing really that special, and an old school demon level that you would expect. But then you reach the second half where quite literally everything falls apart, both with gameplay balancing and functionality.
Oh my god,
Not
what
only
is...
does the gameplay
Did you see
turn
that
into
orb?
straight
Hang on,
garbage,
hang on.
But
Dude, back in 2014, that...
Not only does the gameplay turn into straight flying garbage, but the level straight up doesn't work, as presented by the video description here. And I'm not talking about how a setup that used to work doesn't work anymore. No. This here is straight up a case where the creator does not understand how the game works, and built parts that the game modes physically cannot do. Somehow, this all slipped by and the level received
and a guy
rating anyway. You'd be surprised how common this actually is in the game's history. For some reason, even in the older days of Geometry Dash, RobTop genuinely sucked at checking if a level was truly possible to complete at all. There's no one quite like RobTop, that's for sure. Next up, we have the 4th entry from the Hell series taking a spot on this list, the Hell Origin. For some reason, out of the 4 levels,
there we go, the Hell series,
World, Dignity, and Origin, the very hardest one was
our
the
crystal
one that
made from
stay up.
salt.
Upon release on the 31st of January 2014, it was by far the hardest supposedly legitimate completion that had ever been uploaded to the GD servers at that point. But it was pretty close that this didn't even become an entry in this list to begin with, as getting it rated was a really difficult task. Common practice in the earlier versions of the game was for users to contact RobTop directly through Touch Arcade, where there was one thread dedicated to talking about the game and messaging
Touch
RobTop
Arcade got a lot of levels rated.
Sauna 924 could often be found here,
because RobTop was pretty active on it back in the day,
and the Hell World were originally rated. Although with the Hell Dignity and the Hell Origin, there were complications. Son felt as if his request for level rates were being ignored as a result of people not playing them and supposedly swearing in his level comment section. Son was hoping that despite the level's clearly infamous status, he would receive a level rate regardless. What followed was his requested levels receiving a rate.
Why is his forehead so big?
Fascinating statements from RobTop that I've ever seen. And in fact, it is so fascinating that I cannot help but narrate this whole thing to you. It is not my intention to ignore maps. It is just difficult to go through them all,
RobTop did not play a lot of level, through a lot of the levels.
I think Darnak is right.
At most, he probably paid through like 40% of every level he played,
which makes players either rage and dislike the map, or make them think the game is bugged. When I create maps, there are a lot of things I keep in mind to make sure that even if some jumps are difficult, they don't frustrate the player in a negative way. One thing that I always go by when making maps is to never punish the player when he does the right thing. 3 spike jumps, for instance, is the kind of obstacle that can negatively frustrate players. They know the spikes are coming and push the jump over, but fail because of the tight timing. Here the player is punished even though he made the right decision. which is something I find most players dislike if it is too extreme. A good demon map in my opinion uses fakes, misdirection, and some timing to create the difficulty, not extreme tight timing.
Y'all need to chill out in
Demon
chat.
Park, for instance, does this very well, while
Pay
still
attention.
being very difficult. While there are certainly some parts of this message that probably warrants an update, the general message presented is a pretty clear indication of what Robtop views to be the best way to make a GD level.
Excuse
But
me.
let's just say that Son didn't take this message to heart and proceeded down this path of making consistently more and more difficult levels, with the Hell Origin being his hardest and the last rated level he ever received. A few months after this interaction took place, Son was eventually caught for cheating using the practice mode exploit, which in
Oh,
short implied using practice mode to verify levels. Not
this is
long
a very
after he was
niche,
caught for this,
niche
all of the Hell
exploit.
series levels were
I think
immediately unrated, and his name
this is the
and
first time I've
history
ever
was
heard about this
obliterated
exploit.
in the Korean community. Fast forward to some point in the future, and the Hell Origin out of all 4 levels disappeared. It just got deleted. In 2020, I got the fortune to actually talk to Son924 himself, and I proceeded to ask him questions related to the Hell series as a whole. Most relevant to us in this video, when I mentioned to Son about Origin being deleted, it was to his surprise that the level was gone. So it wasn't Son that removed it. Likely, it is just another case of Robtop having genuinely terrible management of his game at the time, resulting in Robtop accidentally removing
Throwing shade at
Origin
Robtop.
at some unknown moment. Here's technically another case of a level that had a secret way, called The Extreme Universe by GW Ariane. But since at least the difficulty of the level was somewhat interesting and pretty damn hard, I figured I could just throw this one in the list since difficulty gives GD players wood. When it was released in update 1.5, the level
Did this vid
receive
drop?
a rate pretty quickly.
2
There
days
was
ago.
one pretty big problem with this level. Not only was the level pretty damn hard for the time, but it was also physically impossible in the main route, which inevitably caused some questions. When Restoration Union reached out to the creator, he provided with some more insight on the level where he describes pretty much the general story for the level as a whole. There's pretty much an entire monologue of stuff that he goes through, which all sum up the story quite nicely for the level. The summary of the
Yeah, I
whole
can't
thing
read
is
any of that.
The level, as mentioned, was verified with a secret way. Around 40 seconds into it, which the creator indicates that it exists right here. The creator supposedly wanted to release the level as quickly as possible, hence the second half of the level had a lot of nonsensical gameplay, both insanely difficult and physically impossible to actually do.
I just realized I still have
wasn't
my
the
title
creator's
set to
intent.
Beating Italian
After the
Brain
level
Rat
was
Demon.
uploaded, Ariane sent an email to Robtop requesting for the level being rated, and only a day later, it became a demon level without Robtop actually
You'll change the
checking
title.
to see if the level was fully possible. The GW forum stated that the level was impossible, so Ariane quickly patched the level to be possible and updated it. But strangely enough, after update 1.7 had come out, Ariane made the level free by updating the level by adding a blue pad
Okay, I can't do
right
it on
at the
phone.
start,
Whatever.
leading to a new secret way.
Doesn't matter.
Inevitably, this got the level unrated in about a week, and the level likely disappeared shortly thereafter. My only
Taking
working
a
theory
full
as to
week,
why
Rob
this
Top.
last bit of the story happened is perhaps guilty conscience, as a result of making a level that wasn't beaten legitimately despite presenting such high difficulty. To this day, there are only remnants of the level that has been found, with the full level still being a mystery as to how hard it really was. Back in 2014, this level was probably more known online as
How far am
worst
I?
demon level ever.
Alright, so I got
presented
about
to you
20
by
minutes
none
in,
other than
around here, I
Weo
think.
Teo. Definitely an
And then
unwarranted
I
statement if you ask me.
don't know
but
what's after
here
the.
we have none other than
threshold.
Ski Jump. At least for me, this is how I got to know of this level back in the day.
I've heard of this.
Since Weo was one of the most popular GD YouTubers back in those days. The creator behind the level is named Sariku, which I've covered all of his levels on his channel before, where I described him as one of the most unique creators in the entire game, due to deceptively simple ideas executed in such an extravagant and unique way. Sochi Ski Jump I would also say belongs in that description, but in this case due to YouTuber coverage, players like Weo Teo and others completely obliterated any good intentions this level might have had. And perhaps unknown to most of you, Sarko did react to Weos' video post and he seemed genuinely upset about it. I think I will let this post do the talking this time, as he talks about Sochi Ski Jump being unrated. I was
can't.
looking through
Oh.
my levels.
I was
and
gonna say I
found
couldn't read
this.
that.
I don't know why. Plus, a YouTuber introduced this level as the worst demon. As a creator, I really don't appreciate that. I can't even edit the level due to my data loss, and they are like, can't find secret way, the level bad, ball too hard, blind ship is ass, even though there are a bunch of other blind ship levels. I made a bunch of auto parts, which is the reason for the likes, so doesn't it make it easier to clear? Truthfully, on my end, this looks to me like one of the most unfair unrates I've ever seen in a game. My assumption is that RobTop saw Weos' video, had a look at the second half segment, and
that's
assumed
cool.
it was a secret way that warranted an unrate. But despite that, I don't think this level deserved that kind of backlash and criticism. Quite generally, it's one of the most unique levels I've ever seen. The beginning of the level is exactly what the level describes. A ski jump. You climb up to the top and then go down, leaping off the ramp to fly in the air.
That's cool.
And Saga created this only using the available assets at the time. It's incredibly unfair what he went through with this one, and while I don't think we were ever intended for this, the level ended up getting deleted entirely at some point, and sadly, with parts of the level gone forever with no traces of it. Everyone took the same path in their completion videos because it was the easiest one, but there's stuff at the bottom of the second half that no one knows what it is anymore.
Who's Benkar? I'm Benkar.
The next level here is a level I actually wanted to
Mental
make a standalone
breakdown,
video
okay.
for one reason I'm sure many viewing will be intrigued by me saying. This deleted demon could very well be a lost former top 1 based off a couple of different aspects. The creator of this level, known as Blackwave or XZ, as his name was on the GW forums, was from the
I haven't seen the rest of this video from this point on now.
There's even an exchange between him and Synthic Alpha, who was inspired by Mental Breakdown, requesting to use the block design ideas present in it. This design can likely be seen in the level Hazard Sector Finale. But going back to Mental Breakdown, since the level is now deleted, what we can do is look at the comments that were posted on Mental Breakdown's level ID using GD Browser. What you will find are comments like these, questioning the legitimacy, assuming there's a secret way, or stating how insane the difficulty is.
No, Cody commented.
The very last comment the level got came from Heraquid, who was named Super SNSD in 2014, and he referred to this level as lunatic. And yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen him refer to a level in this way. So with such details surrounding the level, one would jump to the assumption that this was a really, really difficult level, and could perhaps be evidenced by images and videos showcasing it. And what do
so
we
he
know
would
about
call
that?
really hard levels lunatic demons?
Based off the things we know and have found, there's a couple of things to bring up. Firstly, Restoration Union did contact the original creator, and managed to get some statements on why the level is lost, and what it could imagine to be in the real level. Add that to the Synthic Alpha exchange from earlier, and there's a couple of
half the
small
viewers
details
just
to be
left.
considered, but none of this is exactly definitive of what's where. There was also 2 separate versions of this level, where the first version used Theory of Everything, and the second version used Electron Adventures. It appears also that the first version did not have a secret way, but the second version did, which sounds like there was some cheated buff date to the second version if you ask me.
It's 2026.
This is further insinuated by the
not.
exchange here between Blackwave and Super SNSD, and aside from that, there's no images, no videos, not even a spike or a block that would indicate anything. We have no footage or coverage of this level in any capacity. What we do have are images of the completion screen, and of the level's end screen showing off its background color.
Dang, it's so interesting. Levels that get rated,
since the second
seen by
version of the
thousands of
level
people,
led
and
to
it's
its
just
unrate only 7 hours after it came out. Whatever difficulty this level had is unfortunately lost to time.
we just don't know
I really want to
what
stress
it looks
this
like.
though. Me saying that this could be a former top 1 doesn't mean that it was. For all we know, this might be overrated and glorified into imagining something that it is not. But what I will not deny is the potential of this being another truly lost top demon from a bygone era. Well then, I'm saying hello to an old friend again.
Here we are.
Elements 111 RG. Anyone who watches me regularly should know what this is immediately. Quick recap on the level itself in case you don't know. Elements 111 RG by Dark X was claimed during its existence to be the hardest demon in the entire game by the Korean community. If you were to play this, you would be faced with both insane and very unusual level design, carried over by the creators' previous building experience from making Mario ROM hacks with the same insane difficulty. But the level had not been cleared legitimately, as
Everyone
instead,
knows about
it had a
Element.
secret way hidden in plain sight in one of the most extravagant ways possible. From there on out though, my coverage on what happened to the level afterwards was a little mixed, since it wasn't particularly clear when the level was unrated or when it was deleted, which is the relevant part of this video. But in the modern day, I think we have more or less figured it out. When the secret way had been found by players, DarkX updated the level and removed it, but did not release the level legitimately once again, as he placed a second secret way somewhere else now. If we go to a different Korean forum named Game Talk Talk, we find a conversation about this second secret way from the players Magnus and Starbomb.
Yeah, people not recording
Starbomb's
their
level completion
like
screenshot
practice
for
runs of these
version
levels is
2
also something
and
that's like
proves that
very
the secret way
ominous.
in version 2 ended on the ground. On the GW forums, we are also able
Do
to
you guys
look
think
at
we'll ever
comments from
find the real
deleted
version of
posts,
Element?
and one of them from 13th of April 2014 reveals some pretty interesting information. The way the second secret way was set up was now on the main path, where this specific segment could be seen. This comment from Natural, when translated, described that DarkX had hidden a blue orb here that was inside of one of these sinkers. Hit it, and you're back
Yeah,
on the
it
good old secret
probably
way
is lost to
everyone was familiar
time.
with. Only 7 hours after this update where the second secret way had come out, the level would be unrated as well. As
But
established
us knowing
with
all
Xdev
this
version
information
2
about these
earlier,
levels, like,
wasn't
it's
until
possible.
Update 1.7 would be released, where users could actually delete their levels. But there is a post from DSS on GW that insinuates the level had been confirmed removed on the 19th of April. Me and Restoration Union speculate that the only way Elements 111RG could have been removed at this point in the game is if DarkX himself requested RobTop to do so.
Yeah, pure
And likely that
like
is what happened. Sometime between
forging
the
a G
15th
level.
and 19th of April 2014,
People
RobTop
would do
deleted
that.
Elements 111RG to likely never see the light of day again. With the amount of deleted comments found on GW from DarkX asking people to delete posts and not talk about the secret way being innumerable, it is genuinely a wonder we managed to figure this out to begin with. But as per usual, Elements 111RG, more than 11 years after its release, continues to deliver new info that hadn't been discovered before.
That's why it's like
Fucking curse you, RG.
oh my
Next
god.
up, we have Climb Step by Joel, which truth be told is not really that special of a level. As perhaps the level name implies, it is the creator's own personal take on a
Stormfly
concept
does
inspired
not
level,
like RG.
which there were countless of them in the game. This one in particular is also really barren and empty for trying to emulate that too. But there was one aspect that made this level stand out and was also the cause of its deletion. No fault of the creator either. The level was uploaded in Update 1.6 on the 30th of April 2014 and was just a standard level for its time. But when Update 2.0 rolled around, the level suddenly became impossible at 34%. The only way you could bypass the problem was if you changed the graphics settings to high quality, which would also change the hitbox size of the saw object above the yellow pad, which was the one causing the problem.
What?
Then Update 2.1 came out and made the level impossible entirely. And as if to make matters worse, given the quality of the level itself, there's likely an unintentional secret way at 56%, which you can achieve by just avoiding the Q portal as the ball. After that,
Dude,
just
you can
Dogma
change the
comes up and you have a
hitboxes with
free
the
demon
quality
all the way
at
to
the
end from
time?
there. The
What the
result of the
hell?
level breaking bug caused by RobTub, plus the level being popular for having a secret way, it appears that RobTub decided to just remove the level for some odd reason. This is going to become a trend for the levels of this list, where it is strangely enough RobTub himself being the reason the levels are gone. I've covered the following collection of levels on this channel before, and truthfully, if you want the meat of the whole story, you're better off taking a look at this video, where I go in full depth about them. But to keep it brief here, the H-Man levels are one of the most fascinating levels on the entire list. And yes, in this case, these ones are grouped together, since they are all part of the same controversy. These are levels that RobTub never chose to rate Demon himself, but rather this was the work of a hacker that abused a bug regarding admin permissions for the game's servers. What we got from that were 11 separate levels rated Demon and had nothing noteworthy in them, except a penis made from in-game blocks. Given the severity of the security breach that had taken place here, RobTub didn't unrate the levels as he normally would, but reverted the entire game's server by 1 day. All of H-Man's levels disappeared immediately and never saw a return again. If one is concerned about the preservation of what the levels had in them, They're likely just a bunch of nothing, with perhaps some small and insignificant creations. The next demon I wanted to talk about is one that became known briefly as a new top demon entry out of the blue. Supreme Lab Factory by Demon Maker originally came out in August 2014, and there are a couple of different versions to discuss with this one. Sadly, I've attempted to look into this as much as I could, but the pre-1.9 versions that we can confirm to have existed are lost to time. They likely didn't look too different from the versions that we do know about, considering the level got well over 10 separate updates during its time. Through Restoration Union's save file collection and research, we are able to confirm that this level had its song changed more or less every time an update showed up. The original version of this level had the song Time Machine, followed by future 1.8 versions to use Clubstep, which pretty much covers all we really know about these older versions. The version of this level majority played came with the 1.9 update, where Demon Maker decided to update the ending to have a wave ending, which was also a really difficult one for the time. The song was changed once again, but
that's so free.
A custom song for Newgrounds, in this case Wobbly Tooth Crunchy Apple by a boss fight. Majority of video coverage that you're gonna find of this level is with this version, and majority of people also agreed that it was a very hard demon for the time. But then in early July 2015, the level received its final update, which is what the level proceeded to become known for over the years. The song was changed once again, now into My Future by Beautiful Day, and for some reason, the level lost all sense of balance as it had become an insanely unbalanced extreme demon, with every pre-existing part mega buffed, plus an ending with quintuple spot.
That's Atomic playing that.
Interestingly enough, this version of the level is one I've had a bit of involvement with in the past, as I've become known as one of the few to actually play this level when it was still out, as well as trying to rank its difficulty versus other top demons of the time. That ranking isn't particularly relevant since it is wrong all over the place, but it pretty much cemented itself to me and others that this final version had become a hack updated top demon. And as you would expect, it didn't last long as it was unrated more or less immediately, followed by the level's removal not long after. In the modern day, this mega buff version had been beaten by a couple of players, Atomic being the most prominent player to have done so. So outside of the older versions being likely gone forever, this level has received an appropriate closure given the circumstances. I nearly forgot about this level when creating this list, so I'm glad I didn't miss out on it. X-Force by Hex, or Nana Kiwi, as this creator would change their name to, is, as perhaps the name implies,
I've never heard of this.
Force inspired level. And at first, this level was genuinely fine. There was nothing shady going on. It was a bog standard attempt at recapturing the essence of Robtop's Hexagon Force, but in demon difficulty. But then update 1.9 rolled around, and this level built up quite the reputation for a number of reasons. The level had received a pretty significant update, and genuinely, it is a very strange one. All background color triggers were removed, replacing the entire level with a black background that never changed. The beginning ship part had been replaced with a 3x speed mini-wave, going into a ship transition in the most awkward way possible, followed by back-to-back 0.5x speed and 1x speed portals. The first cube segment and parts of the first ball segment have been changed into auto. After all of that, you have the same level again.
So it was a perfectly fine level, and then they updated it
and randomly scattered buffs. With all due respect, it is as if the creator turned bipolar with his intentions on what to do for the update. But probably unsurprising to those viewing this video, this new version also had a secret wave. It wasn't an easy secret wave, but the new mini-wave segment at the start had a setup that allowed you to clip through the
Yo, this was Doggy's first completion.
Fake. You would hit a cube portal.
This was the level that Doggy beat.
Portals that let you glide all the way to the end. Majority of players that played this version obviously took the secret way, myself included back in the day. But thanks to a player that went by the name of Blaster James BG, we have at least the first half of this level update, since he did try to clear the main path in this strange version. But he never pulled through with it as he died to the duel at the drop, resulting in us in the modern day not knowing what the rest of this strange version had to offer. The remaining half of the level received no footage from anybody, and when the level was unrated and deleted, that half of the level was lost forever. Next up on the list, Deadly Hexagon Force by Magnus started out as a 1.8 level released in November 2014.
Another level I've never heard of.
A week before update 1.9 had come out. The level at the time...
Previous level was Hex Force, that's what it was called.
Players. resulting in the level ending up in the dislike ratio, as that was the usual response to difficult levels back in these times. It would, however, not stop Magnus from regularly giving the level updates, which all had something unique to present. The very first version of the level ended with a dual ship with the song still playing. The second version had ship parts replaced with wave parts, as well as a brand new wave maze ending. And a third version had its ending part slightly changed once more. All pretty innocent stuff, as you can probably tell, and all of these changes happened during 2015. But then the next year rolled around and the fourth version happened, which undoubtedly turned the level into an extreme demon even in the modern day. This version was released at some point during early November 2016, and caused quite a stir in the community, as this was the peak of the demon list era, and all of a sudden, a random top demon contender showed up. The first half of the level received some general buffs scattered about, some of which more brutal than others. But then the second half
So like it was a contender for like levels like Sonic Wave?
Gameplay, as if Magnus was trying to
I think that was the number one at this time.
World, hey, I'm a cheater! This whole level had become the new top one without a proper verification video, so you can imagine what followed here. On the 4th of December 2016, RobTop unrated the level after Riot and numerous GD forums members were advocating for it. The level was later deleted not too long
I got a
afterward,
virus, guys.
and alas, it became a new deleted demon for this list. In the modern day, this fourth version turned the level into an extreme demon.
In 2016, no one would believe a verification like that with that chip.
By posting that same verification video and advertising it. Ever since, it has been the last YouTube video Magnus ever posted. And here we have probably the most unfair and brutal treatment that any level has ever gotten in the game's history.
I think I know this.
Skrillex Party by Nether has quite a
I know
story
this
to tell,
one.
both in the level's quality itself and what ultimately ended up happening to it. This level developed quite a name for itself when Phobos popularized it with his own video upload, beating the level back in January 2015. Although it didn't become known for the
day when
level's high
Cataclysm
quality.
released.
Rather, the main thing that stood out was the song that was used. The clear intent with it, and as the level's name implies, it is a cover remix of a popular Skrillex song. Scary monsters and nice sprites in this instance, one of the few Skrillex songs I personally enjoy. But the execution of that remix was so botched and horrible that it went on to be the main thing the level became known for. Nether tried to compensate for all the criticism the song got by changing it into a piano version with the dubstep and drum elements added to it. The reception was even worse this time, which Kremal further insinuates in his own completion of this update.
Oh my god.
The third and final version this level got came out around a year after Phobos' video on the 4th of January 2016, with Nether updating its decoration as well as slightly buffing the level. This version probably also had the best song so far, largely because the remix pretty much copied everything from the original song's drop, only adding a few elements making it worse because
decoration updates
new artists. However, this is only relevant to when the level was still uploaded, because the way this level got deleted happened in an extremely unfair way. Given the popularity that Skrillex Party developed as an early easy demon for new players to attempt, it also became a pretty big target for an upcoming event that would genuinely change GD forever. The Team Hack scandal. And sadly, the people who went on a rampage on the game's server and levels decided to target Skrillex Party, hack updating it into a free demon just for the sake of it. They had moved the entire level up a few blocks, resulting in the starting queue being able to just glide on the ground all the way to the end. It is a little unclear what exactly happened from this point forward, as RobTop's management of the team hack situation was severely unprofessional and all over the place. But the final outcome for Skrillex Party was that it was deleted around March 2017, presumably after the team hack situation had died down. C. Volton claimed that the likely cause of the level being gone came from RobTop himself, as after it was hacked in this manner, the level description had a so-called null byte. To spare you from the technical explanation of all of that, imagine trying to search for the level in-game, and despite you typing the name perfectly, it would never show up. Instead of RobTop just trying to fix that on his own, he likely just straight up removed the whole level instead.
Damn.
So there you go. Skrillex Party was removed as a result of one hacker deciding to make it into a secret way, and the developer of the game, being either too lazy or too reckless to fix it, decides to just nuke its existence altogether. Insanely unfair.
That is very
Revolution
unfortunate.
X. At least to me, that's a level name that had been mostly forgotten about despite it being unrightfully removed a long time ago. The level itself genuinely isn't that special. If you've seen Funny Games' level Revolution,
Yeah,
Revolution
Rob
X is a buffed version of
he
that level
handled
by the
things so
creator
bad
Wreckage.
back in the
Not much
day.
else to be said about the level, it's as simple as that. But the way it was deleted was really stupid and unfair. Wreckage's account was subject to a fair number of hacker attacks for some reason, with the infamous hacker Anaban being the most significant one to go for him. There are multiple documentations from back in the day demonstrating the strange level
Love you,
updates that would show
Anaban,
up on his
but
account during late 2016, and at some point during that time, Revolution X would be deleted. If we check GD forums about this, there's one thread speaking on behalf of Revolution X being deleted and asking others if they have a copy of this level anywhere. Kremol ended up posting on this thread, stating that the level was likely removed by RobTop himself in his efforts trying to fix Wreckage's account after Anaban had gone and destroyed it. For some reason, instead of RobTop actually fixing the level so it could be played again, Revolution X was just deleted. And just like that,
Man,
the
that's
level
so-
never saw a
that's
return
so
to
sad.
Wreckage's account ever again.
Like,
The next level on this list I actually wanted to make a unique case for, because unlike most levels
they
I'm
spent
talking
all
about
this
on
time building
list,
these levels.
this is a case of a level that had a secret way. But
Just for
not in
RobTop
the
to delete
standard
them
way of a
because he
creator
didn't
using
handle
it because
things
he can't
properly.
beat the level, or even an oversight in the main path. The level was beaten legitimately, and it was a 1.9 themed collaboration built in early 2.0, which definitely was at good enough quality to warrant a level rate. But this was in early 2.0, which meant that the blue orb glitch still existed, that had been around since the 1.9 update, which, to give that a brief explanation, allowed you to flip upside down in the next attempt at the level. Some creators and levels use this to make hidden secret ways. Probably the most famous example being Silent Club, even though we have confirmed that the secret way never worked, but it popularized the bug regardless. In Collaboration Theory's case, if you did this glitch, you wouldn't be met with the usual updates you'd find for a secret way. Instead, you would find a full collection of updates the Collaboration host left for creators to understand what they were able to use in the 1.9 theme restriction. And unfortunately, the host also had the foresight to add the game mode portals to indicate what could be used and what couldn't. So what ended up happening was an accidental secret way caused by the tiny hitbox of the mini-wave. The host Aquarius was evidently upset about this enough to the point that even though the level had not been unrated by RobTop or anything, the level was deleted in response. As such, Collaboration Theory is another case of a deleted demon level. The following level is something fascinating, since the creator involved with it is in the modern day very involved with Geometry Dash. The creator Ryder is today an Elder Moderator, one of the highest titles you can have, and despite him probably having a lot of attention to his name now, his level Blitzstep is genuinely lost. By looking
Never heard
into
of
the
this.
level comments
Sky
in the
user coins though.
browser, you'll see a rather consistent trend with a lot of them, being that the game seemed to be completely unable to play the level properly, a majority of people receiving an in-game crash, just trying to load the level. Ryder stated himself in the comments back then that the crashing is a result of update 2.01, hoping that RobTop will fix the issue soon. Based off the one video that exists of this level, and some comments that will be posted to the level while it was still uploaded, it did seem to have gotten fixed for a select few players, but not everybody. The inconsistent ability for players to actually play the level eventually led to the level's deletion. The rough estimate is that Blitzstep was randomly deleted and disappeared around February 2016. There's one interesting observation to make about Blitzstep if we look back to the history of Team Hacks of all places. Not all information about this subject can be revealed publicly, but to simplify it here, during Team Hacks' reign of hacking accounts, they eventually stumbled upon an account related to RobTop that oddly enough seemed to have Ryder's save file of all things. Ryder himself had no idea why this was the case, and I don't think we will be getting answers about that either. The only remnants we have of this level comes from one video from an old school player by the name of
Why do you not
Donut
have it in full
Panda,
screen?
who can be seen here.
Because my face cam will be in the way.
And coincidentally is a friend of mine. I overheard the debate regarding this level in Restoration Union, and happened to notice they were trying to get in contact with Donut. I figured since he already knew me, I went ahead and kindly asked if he was able to assist. And just like that, the first 22% of the level was found, which is what has been playing here in the background repeatedly. The rest of the level is a mystery to this day, and likely forever will be. Whatever was going on with that account related to RobTop also remains unknown, and will never be solved. I've covered this level on this channel a couple of times already,
Phobos?
so I will try to make it pretty brief. Phobos is a level that began as a update 1.9
Oh my god,
mega
we're getting to the part of the video where everyone actually knows stuff.
The project did not end up being finished before the next game update 2.0 would come out, and instead of having the level be redone with new assets, they kept going but began using the new features this new update provided.
You Phobos.
As such, you can clearly tell the distinct difference for when this happened, where all of a sudden parts containing 2.0's objects began to show up. But probably the most noteworthy aspect about this level is that to anyone that played it, it would be the hardest demon in the game at the time. The uploader of this level and subsequently verifier of the level, Tigrisek, released Phobos for everyone to play on the 25th of November 2015. And considering this is the era where the demon list truly began reaching its peak in popularity, there was a lot of eyes on this level regarding its legitimacy. This was around the peak of Riot's popularity as the best player, and with him going out of his way to make sure that no hacked verification would surpass his proud verification of Bloodbath, he was on the hunt of these kinds of levels. Tigrisek was very swiftly surrounded by Riot and his friends, and even in an effort to try and appease the hacking accusations, a nerfed version of the level was also released. But it wouldn't take much longer until the pressure got to Tigrisek, and he would update Phobos into a tiny level with an apology message, sending a statement out to everybody that the level was indeed not beaten legitimately. Level was unrated shortly after, and the level upload was also deleted. Phobos would eventually see the light of day again as Kreml re-verified this level a bit more than a half a year later, on the 12th of May 2016.
I wish RobTop would have unrated levels and never deleted them.
Went ahead and beat that version too on the 24th of April 2021. Despite my previous involvements with this level in particular, I am genuinely not excited at all to talk about this level anymore. Theory of Darkness by Kupi is a level I've talked about on this channel before. Upon its release, this was a level themed around decoration from update 1.5, but with the difficulty so high that it quite easily overshadowed the hardest verification at the time, Bloodbath. There was no legitimate video available for the verification, however, so much like Phobos that we previously spoke of, Kupi was pretty much witch hunted by Riot and his friends once more. Unlike Phobos though, the amount of toxicity that can be seen in the comments of this level are honestly batshit insane at times. They were insanely vicious towards this level and the creator. At the time, RobTop had rated the unnerved version of it, which is probably list-worthy even in the modern day, which today is referred as the July version. With all the complaints and insults that were being thrown at Kupi, he eventually complied to some extent and provided with a nerfed update.
Harassment over a G level is crazy.
Claimed to have been verified by Severance D, but even that carried hints of illegitimacy as, once more, there wasn't a video present. Riot's movements pretty much ensured that the level was completely wiped from history upon its unrate and deletion, including Kupi, who was pushed so hard that it caused him to quit from the game entirely. Fast forward a few years later, all the way up until spring 2021, I made an effort to research into this level and rekindle this level's relevancy in the modern day. Based off a YouTube video I found that displayed someone playing the rated version in practice mode, I deducted that this version that was played here was the nerfed version from September. There are like over 20 different versions of this level, so I'm going to leave that alone and talk about the two that are relevant to us, which in this case is the July and September version. I asked Kupi whether he could verify that the version I had demonstrated to him was the version that was rated, and he confirmed it more or less. So on the 26th of May 2021, I verified Theory of Darkness and got the version I verified uploaded on Kupi's account. But there are some uncertainties about what version was rated
too hard for
and which one wasn't even now. Kupi in later years stated that the unnerfed July version was the one rated, yet the video demonstrating the practice mode run is showing a featured version of the September version I verified. Both the unnerfed and nerfed version has been verified today, with the player Glow GMD verifying the unnerfed version and me verifying the nerfed version. So regardless of which of the two versions you consider is more valid, both the versions that have reasons to believe they have been in a rated version have been taken care of. This one is weird. I have been debating to myself for a while on whether to include this or not, since there are too many uncertainties in its story.
Shout out to Glow, by the way.
The story itself at least deserves to be told. Magnus by Stepenko, or SCP-Lanced, as his old and perhaps more well-known username used to be, is a 2.0 level heavily inspired by the creator of Spectro, especially in themes of levels like Landex and Bellic. The level was verified legitimately by Sir Gillister.
I don't think I've ever heard of
January
this.
2016, and upon release was a contender for the top 10 hardest demons. It genuinely was a big deal for its time, but already here, things get pretty confusing. The level ID attached to Sir Gillister's verification video leads to nothing. That verification upload is gone. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there, but for one reason or another, that original verification was deleted and later uploaded under a second ID from Stepenkos' account this time. Supposedly, this was the version that was rated Demon according to Stepenko himself, but only for 2 minutes. This is further insinuated if you
2
look at the
minutes?
comments of this level upload, where Stepenko thanks Robtop for rating the level for 2 minutes, as well as another user later asking why the level was only featured for 2 minutes. If this is true, what likely happened here is that Robtop saw the level and indeed rated it, but later unrated it, discovering that this version had been hack uploaded. You can even see Septagon in this image discrediting Stepenkos' legitimacy, which perhaps was a catalyst for why the level was immediately unrated too. I really don't know or understand why any of these decisions had to happen, considering the legitimate verification this level received, but happen they did. Stepenko did attempt to reconcile this by getting Septagon to verify a better version, and successfully so, evident by the change of heart Septagon had about it being rated later on. But it never got rated again, and out of frustration, Stepenko eventually deleted this level upload as well. In early 2017, the level would see a final attempt at being revived by N-Level, who got the idea to verify a buff date of the level with the permission of Stepenko. This verification is still uploaded, and during all this time, it never got re-rated, and this is where the legacy of this level stagnated forever. Sadly, there is no concrete proof that can validate this level ever being rated, even if the creator says that it was. So I realized that technically makes this level entry a case of source trust me bro. But given at least the story of this level is engaging enough for me to be interested in it, I'm willing to give it a benefit of the doubt. And the final entry
here we go,
which technically speaking is uploaded and rated even today, is none other than God Eater by Noble Boy. Today, that level is known as Astral Divinity, and is on the servers with an
everybody's favorite story.
But as perhaps known to most people watching this video, the level was originally called God Eater, and due to a legal dispute, had to change his name. To my surprise though, it appears that the specific details surrounding this level's unfortunate controversy is not fully understood. So I'll go ahead and explain what fully happened here. God Eater was verified and released on the 6th of January 2019, and this level gained a lot of popularity through the community and YouTube. Most wikis regarding this level would mention that the level was removed due to copyright issues regarding the art that was used in the level. That is only partially true, because the biggest actual factor that led to this level being caught for copyright was the name itself, God Eater. A bit less than a month before God Eater had come out, a third entry to the God Eater game franchise was released in December 2018.
That's so weird.
And with Novel Boy releasing the GD level a month later, this caught the attention of the publishers of the God Eater games. And who would they be? Bandai Namco, the company who published the Dark Souls trilogy and Elden Ring. When Novel Boy's verification video released, it unironically surpassed the God Eater game itself in how many views and how much attention it got. So inevitably, Bandai Namco got to know of Novel Boys' God Eater and saw how the level itself had traced art from their games in multiple segments. Considering how much more popular the GD level had gotten versus their own game release, and the fact that the GD level had deliberately taken their art and technically name without permission, Bandai Namco acted upon it and filed Novel Boy a cease and desist letter. God Eater was very quickly removed by RobTop, and the rest is history, with Astral Divinity being its true successor after the legal dispute. And from this point forward, that concludes this list of deleted demons. There are some more deleted demons after this point, but they are not for interesting reasons, or they are sadly...
God Eater is probably the most interesting one on this list, if I'm going to be real.
I'm giving those people any spotlight at all. So this concludes my version of this list and this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
the Stormfly's video. Damn. Stormfly random helped him research the video. Yeah, this video is great. Shout out to Stormfly. I do want to say something real quick about God Eater. I feel like if the stuff wasn't traced, that I feel like it could have gotten away with being called a God Eater, because copyrighting a name in GD is kind of weird, because Theory of Everything, that's like a movie, I think. I don't know. Copywriting because of the name is stupid, but the tracing makes sense. That's the video, and honestly, Loki, that's the stream as well. Got 65 to 100 on the Brain Rot Demon, and watch the video. It's like a nice break. What is going on? Literally ending right now.